is very hello Europe, hello world, wherever you watch it. But Sweden is on our minds, and this all year long. Every year Sweden is in the top 10, most likely even top 5. And why this is going on and why they are so successful and for how long and why they might end with this strike. It's all about this topic in the next 15, 20, I don't know how many minutes, but here we go. Yes, they are really the powerhouse in the Eurovision Song Contest world. And the first part is really why Sweden is so successful in general. And the second part is why are they always really successful with the juries. And then the third part is why does Sweden flop with the televoting? Usually they flop, not always, but there is really a way that Sweden doesn't end up that well with the televoting, as you know. And then we look at the next part, which is how Sweden could score the 7th victory next year. And then last but not least, I want to show you how, and most important, why Sweden will flop in probably the next decade. Probably this flop will start in 2022 or even 2021, who knows, but probably it will start in many years, but it will happen. And now let's get into it. So point number 1, why Sweden is so successful, and this guides us always to one man, Mr. Christer Björkman. He is the producer of the Melodifestivalen every year since 2002, and he was the reason, or is the reason, why Melodifestivalen is as successful also in the Eurovision fandom. And that means also beyond Sweden, as a national final and as a Swedish event, a must-have if you are in Sweden. So this is the reason why Melodifestivalen is so successful. It's Christer Björkman, and this is also the reason why Sweden is successful in Eurovision, because the Melodifestivalen is a system that really exists since even the 60s or the end of the 50s. So every year since Sweden debuted in 1959, Sweden always used Melodifestivalen. If I'm wrong, then correct me, because I'm not 100% sure if it's every year Melodifestivalen, but I only know that one year Sweden did not participate and Melodifestivalen wasn't in 1 year. So I think this was the year, but who knows? Correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, there are many songs. So if there are many songs, there's also a high possibility that one song is really good. And of course, a lot of songs are really good in the Melodifestivalen every year. And another point is that many cities host it. It's not only one evening show. No, it's not. It is 6 weeks every Saturday night from the start of February to the mid of March, or sometimes it's even starting at the end of January and ends in like the first or second Saturday in March. So you know. But this is also really important. Many cities have the event, so the attention is there. Every city has the chance to make promotion for the contest and also for the city. So both have this advantage that Melodifestivalen is in many cities, because, for example, if the second round next year is in Göteborg, for example, then people, tourists probably, who are in this city on this date, they have the chance to go there. So Melodifestivalen might get new fans. And for Melodifestivalen, also for the city, it's great because fans go to Melodifestivalen and they go there no matter in which city it is. So this is the thing. And of course, the artists. If it's a big celebration of music, if it's the biggest event in Sweden and Scandinavia even, a lot of Swedish artists want to go there. They want promotion, they want to get new fans and more clicks, more views and more fans. So that's why they also participate in the contest. And of course also because this is the way to go to Eurovision. So this is a massive chance for them to be successful in Sweden and beyond. And if they are the artists, they also the songwriters, of course. This is also a big point why they are successful, that a lot of songwriters are there that are really asked in Europe, but also in Sweden and in Eurovision. So songwriters and also the youngsters, but also known artists in Sweden are really interested in participating in Melodifestivalen and then also, of course, in going to Eurovision if they win. But this is such a thing that artists participate once and a second time and a third time and so on until they really go to Eurovision, until they win. So they really have a passion for the contest, for Eurovision. They are really obsessed. Now we go to the second part, why they are successful with the juries in the final, but also in the semi-finals. Every year Sweden is number 1 or 2 or 3 with the juries, and of course a lot of the fans are annoyed because we see it every year, no matter what Sweden sends, they are always on top of the jury scoreboard. And those are the reasons, because Sweden always, we started in that way, the juries, this is how they choose, this is what they want. They go for radio-friendly, chart-friendly songs, sang by artists who have a great voice, by great vocalists. And Sweden has it. And the next thing, what they choose is a genius staging, something that looks memorable. And guess what? Sweden has it. I mean, just look at those stagings from, for example, Benjamin Ingrosso, Loreen or Måns Zelmerlöw, or Robin Bengtsson, and always in the top 3 of the jury votes. Of course, some always also ended up on the top of the televoting, but that's another thing. Now we go to the next part, to the part why they are not so successful with the televoting. And this guides us also back to the juries, because even those who really don't follow national finals or probably don't even remember what Sweden has chosen in the last years and only watch it on Saturday night, they know that Sweden is always loved by the juries. So they probably think, I have 2 songs I really, really love. The one is Sweden, the other one is Armenia. Okay, Sweden is always high with the juries. I don't know if Armenia is there as well, so I go for Armenia. This is probably a way how they choose, but I don't want to say that this is the real situation. But the other thing is, Sweden always sends male acts. There is no diversity in their acts. They always go for solo male artists. Okay, in 2020 they have chosen someone else, but still. No songs in Swedish. Everything is in English. Of course, that's the language of pop, of successful pop music. That's in English. but that's just not the way that how it's successful, because the televote also or more likely goes with the songs that are in native language that are completely different. I mean, for example, look at Kaino or at other acts like Salvador Sobral, Portuguese, than the Yoik, and also other acts that are really more successful with the televoting than with the juries. For example, Hungary 2017, or even Romania in that year. So this is also probably a point. And that's another thing I want to say, is that people always want change. They want something else. It was the same in Ireland. When Ireland dominated the contest too much in the 90s, they wanted some change. And now Sweden is there and people want change again. So this is always if a country dominates too much. And that's also normal, because we want change. We don't want to go to the same country every year. So people are tired of going to Sweden. People were tired of going to Ireland, and now they're tired of going to Sweden. In 20 years, they might be tired of going to Bulgaria or to Israel. I don't know. So this is also a thing. And then there's also a thing that is really, really interesting, and I want to show this in some steps. The first one is Sweden has always the juries and the people always have high expectations from Sweden. This is the first thing, high expectations. And then they might even like it, but they aren't blown away. So they're like, okay, we expected the quality and we got the quality, so nothing new. But if they see the quality from another country that was probably a bit unexpected, they remember probably the song from the other country, not the quality one that comes from Sweden. So this is also a thing. And I don't want to say that Sweden is the only country that has quality songs, but I just said it, that they remember the song from the country they didn't have the high expectation. So this is probably the thing. If you listen to the songs for the first time when it's the Eurovision shows. So this is really the thing. And then the third reason is that, yes, it doesn't scream for attention. It just doesn't scream for attention. I mean, we listen to the radio all day long when we're on our way to the work, to our office, or to school, or I don't know, to the gym. Whatever you do, you listen to the radios. And do you remember 80% of the songs? No. Do you remember 50%? I don't think so. So what I want to say is this, that those radio and chart-friendly songs are the ones that touch us on the Eurovision nights. So this is also a reason why they don't vote for Sweden if they choose this radio-friendly tracks literally every year. So yes. And now we go to the next part, how Sweden might have the turnaround in the next years, also with the televoting, and how the 7th victory for Sweden might happen next year. Yes, it is a long way that Sweden wins, because we know how everyone is annoyed, but it is possible. Of course it's possible, and we just saw it every year that there is a huge fan favorite when we look at Melodifestivalen. It's not always the one that goes to Eurovision, of course, but when we look at Dotter, she was a huge favorite. Also, Victoria in 2019 was a huge favorite when you look into the fan base. Or also, Jon Henrik was a big name and favorite. 2017, they had Loreen, they had Jon Henrik Fjellgren, they had Victoria, they had Mariette, all favorites in the fandom. If they go with the hype that is really in the fandom, in the Euro fandom, not only in Sweden, then fans are excited and happy if they know that this is their song Sweden has chosen for Eurovision. And then they might vote for it as well. So this is the thing. If they choose this, then they are successful. Of course, they also have to serve the jury votes. So they also need the juries to 50%. So they still need jury-friendly songs, chart-friendly songs, but there is a mix of both. That's successful with the televoting, but also with the jury, something that touches the people. But it's also really chart-friendly and really commercial. So this is also a fact. It has to be heartwarming and touching, and has to be a song that might be successful in the radios, on the radio stations. So this is also a big thing. And then they can also win. It's really possible. I mean, hands down, Sweden has the potential. They have, most of the songwriters are from Sweden. If they give a Melodifestivalen act the greatest songs, if this song is hyped in the fandom, probably even in the charts before Eurovision, if this song wins Melodifestivalen, and if all eyes are on this act, then Sweden can win, and is probably the big favorite. So this is possible. But is this realistic for next year? I don't know, but it can happen. It can happen. And there's also another way, of course, and this is something I am really sure will happen in the 20s. Probably in 2022, but probably even 5 years or 8 years, but it will happen, that this Swedish domination will end, and also that the Sweden hate will end. And how this will work, that's in the next minutes. I think Sweden just has to continue the way they are going right now, because if they choose the less quality for the televotes, then this will happen automatically. Of course, they will have the juries, but for how long? This is the thing. For how long juries will be there? We don't know. The system might change. We don't know how long we will have juries anymore. Probably Martin Österdahl will decide to have 80% televote and 20% juries. I don't think that this is realistic, but we don't know it. It might happen. So, yeah. And we all have to say that it's possible that Sweden will fail to qualify in the next years. This might happen if they aren't that successful with the juries and don't scream for attention. Then this might happen if they don't have this excellent staging and probably not the best singer, and a song that's okay but not blown away like for the juries, and also probably just to nothing special like for the televoting, then probably even in a strong semi-final, then Sweden can fail to qualify. And you know how disastrous this would be for Sweden, for SVT, for the broadcaster, for the organizers. So yes, if this happens, the domination ends. That's just simple. And of course, there's also the way that then they might have not the same luck they had before this non-qualification number 2. So this is also possible. But what I'm really sure about it is that Sweden will come back. Sweden, the Melodifestivalen was always popular in Sweden, so this will continue no matter how successful Sweden is in Eurovision. They will always be a Melodifestivalen, and probably it won't be that successful outside of Sweden, but inside they will really have this obsession for Melodifestivalen, and this will stay, and Sweden will come back. When we look at the 2000s, Sweden wasn't really great then. They had 2 victories in the 90s, 2 victories in the 2010s, so probably they will also have 2 victories in the 2030s. We don't know it, so this is the future. We don't know it, but we all know that everything is possible. And also another point I want to say, nothing is really promoting Sweden in Eurovision. Nothing is there that it's not like everyone or a lot are saying that Sweden has always the advantage in Eurovision because Christer Björkman is there and because everyone loves Sweden. Of course, Christer Björkman is the one who was the producer in 2017, 2019. From 2016, every year he was the producer. So, of course, he wants to win. He's also the Swedish delegation, so of course he wants the best for his country. And then he gives his country a good slot. But they don't say that juries have to vote for Sweden. I don't think so. This is just, the juries don't vote for Sweden because it's Sweden. They vote for Sweden because of the points I mentioned in this video. So this is what I want to say. But what do you think? Do you agree with me or not? This is just my interpretation of the success and my thoughts on this topic. What do you think? Let us know it down below in the comments, and we will see you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It would be really nice. I am on my road to 400 subscribers, and it would be great if I get them, because this is my hobby. I love to do this. I love to have this YouTube channel, and I would love to continue with recording videos for you. So thank you for watching and see you later. Bye.